Welcome back everyone. So in this video, I will teach you how to convert an existing design, modify its motifs, elements, change its colors and everything and convert it into a new different design with a different composition. So let's get going. Alright. So the first step is that you have to select these individual motifs, right, from this print. For that, what I'm going to do is, first of all, I will unlock this layer like this. And now I have to identify the motifs which I have to trace. So this is a print design and there are a lot of motifs being repeated here. So I need to identify which motifs do I need to scan, right? For that, I'm going to create another layer and I will name this layer as marker, right? I will select a highlighter color which is like, in my case, like this vibrant green. I will select brush tool and reduce its opacity to, let's say, 33, right? And now I'm going to mark those motifs, such as, let's say I want to trace this one. Apart from this four or five different types of flowers, I would need this leaves element as well. So I'm going to mark this as well. So now I know which motifs do I need to trace, right? So these are the motifs. This marker layer is telling me which motif do I need to trace, right? So now I'll start my tracing. So for the tracing, you will go to this layer, layer 0, and let's say I will zoom in on this pink flower. I will select my lasso tool. Now there's two ways, like you can also do this with the polygonal lasso or maybe do this with the magnetic lasso, whatever suits you the best. I'm going to do this with magnetic lasso. It's a little quicker. So I'll start the tracing. I'll do this quickly. So when I've done making an outline or a trace for a single element or motif, what I'll do is I'll go select my move tool now. I'll press Ctrl C on my keyboard and I'll press Ctrl V. So this flower is copied into a new layer. I'm going to rename this layer as flower 1. Okay. So I'm going to repeat the same steps again. This time I'll turn my marker on and I'll see which motif do I need to scan it now. Let's say I want to trace this one. So I'll make sure I'm on the layer 0 and I'm going to zoom in. Again, this time selecting magnetic lasso tool and I'll start my tracing. I'll do this quickly. So every time I'm tracing a motif, I'm going to press Ctrl C and I'll press Ctrl V. So it's in a separate layer now. I'm going to rename this layer as flower 2, right? So every time I have to select a different motif or an element from the layer 0, copy it and paste it. It will paste automatically on a separate layer. So I will rename that layer every time. So I'm going to do this quickly. Alright, so now that I've traced all my motifs, I will show you that by turning off this layer, layer 0. So these are the motifs which I have traced so far, right? And this was my marker layer. I don't need this layer anymore, right? So these are the motifs I've traced so far. So now is the time to play around with these motifs and convert them, modify them and change their color and compose them into a new different design. Okay. So the first step is, as a textile designer, you should know that you need to have a repeat size as per the client brief or whatever repeat size you're following. So in my case, let's say I'm following 16 by 16 cm. So I'll open a new document and I'll make sure this is in centimeters. This is pixels per inch, and I will put 16 by 16 here. Make sure that resolution is 300 pixels per inch, and I'll just press create. So this is my new document, 16 by 16 cm repeat size. Okay. So now I'm going to copy all these motifs in this document from this. So I'll start with flower 1. This is my flower 1. I'll just simply drag this layer, go to this new document and leave your layer here, right? I'll repeat the same procedure to move all my motifs. Imported all my motifs that I traced in my new document, which is size 16 by 16 cm. Okay. So now is the time to compose all these into a different print. First of all, I will basically move them at a distance so I can actually see all my motifs, right? Like this. Now is the time that I change their colors. So I'll start off with the flower 1, which is this. Okay. So I'm going to change its color. And for changing its color, you will go to image, adjustment, hue, saturation. And now I can just play around with the hue to see how it looks. Let's say I like this blue. Okay. Also, you can play around with saturation and lightness. So if I increase the saturation, it becomes more vibrant. And if I decrease the lightness, it becomes dark. If I increase the lightness, it becomes light. So I will keep it somewhere here. This is nice. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do the same with flower 2, which is this flower. I will go to image, adjustment, hue, saturation. Now we'll do the same thing with flower 3. Now flower 4, which is this one. So now the leaves. So now that I've successfully changed their colors, now is the time to compose your print. Okay. For that, what you need to do is, I will teach you how to compose your print into a live pattern preview mode. Without this option, it's very difficult for textile designers to do this on paper. It takes a lot of time. So you go to view, you go to pattern preview mode and you press OK and you zoom out, right? So this is how it looks right now. So let's start composing them into a good design and a good composition. As I said, we will change the composition entirely from the existing print. So I'll start off with the flower 2. I can scale it, like, in order to scale it, rotate it, you can press Ctrl T, transform, and then you can change its scale, increase its scale, right? Also, you can rotate it. For example, I like it like this. Just press enter. Now let's play around with flower 1. So I'm going to press Ctrl T. Now I will play around with this. Now let's say the last flower, which is this one, flower 2. I can move it at the back. So I have an idea that I am trying to use this flower as a pattern in the background. So what I'll do is I'll keep pressing Alt on my keyboard and Shift. Alt plus Shift. I'll click it and drag it and make its copy like this. I'll keep repeating the same procedure. These 5 flowers, I can join them by selecting all these layers of flower 3. Keep pressing Ctrl on your keyboard and click all the layers of flower 3 and then simply press Ctrl E. it's a shortcut to merge all the layers, Control E. Okay. So now they're all in single layer. Now I'm going to make copies of this layer as well. Keep pressing Alt and Shift. After that, I can add a background color here. But before that, I need to merge all these flower 3 layers. So I'll keep pressing Control on my keyboard and click on all the flower 3 layers and press Control E. Okay. So now they're all merged into a single layer. It's easier now. Okay. So I need to add a background color. For that, I need to unlock this background. Okay. And now let's add a background color. Let's make a background color, a good background color, which you think that probably would look good. Here, maybe this beige. Now press Alt backspace. This is the look so far. If you think the flower is not looking nice on it, this background flower, let's change the color. This looks better. The flower is popping out now a little bit. Also, if you think it's popping out a lot, you can reduce its fill or opacity. So let's say this is the flower 3 layer. I'm reducing its fill a bit to make it look subtle. After that, this is not done. You can make copies of these elements as well. For example, I feel that I need to make a copy of this flower as well. It's pink fuchsia flower. So this is the layer. Flower 4 is my layer. I'll click on this layer. I'll keep pressing Alt on my keyboard and I'll drag it and I'll make its copy. After making its copy, I can press Ctrl T, rotate it, or maybe scale it down. Similarly, you want to make more copies of this navy blue flower. So this is the flower 1. Okay, keep pressing Alt, make its copy, Ctrl T, and you can also go to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. So this is now the mirror image of this flower. So it's not necessary that you keep them away from each other, like you keep a breathing space in between these motifs. You can also overlap them. Now, create a bunch. For example, let's say you talk about this flower 1. Similarly, you could do this with the flower. See, this gives a bunch look. Okay. Now let's say you have this leaves here and you want to use this as well in order to make some connections. So this is the layer of leaves. What I'm going to do is I'll press Ctrl T. I'll move it all the way down. And use your arrow keys on your keyboard to move it around. Similarly, when you're happy with its position and scale, press enter. You can make its copy by keep pressing Alt on your keyboard. Also, you can make another copy of this. There's something wrong with this one. I will identify which layer is this. Leaf, copy this layer. Okay, there's something wrong with this layer because the leaf is appearing very weirdly here. I will get rid of this. I'll delete this layer. Right. Okay, so I'll make copy of this layer again, leaves layer. So now let's just zoom out and see how it looks so far. Now let's suppose you want to add more elements, more motifs here, you can do that. Also, I will tell you how to create a shadow look. For example, you want a drop shadow on this turquoise main flower. So you just identify which layer is it. It's flower 2. Okay. You can add a drop shadow as well. For example, what you can do is you click on this, right click on this and click on blending options. After clicking on blending options, this window appears. You click on, move this a little bit on the side and click on drop shadow and zoom in a bit, and you will see there will be a drop shadow. If I turn the check off, yes, it's very subtle. You can increase the drop shadow by increasing the spread and size a bit. As far as it looks subtle, press OK. So now you see this is a new option beneath your layer of blending option. If you turn the eye off of this option, you can see the result that there's a drop shadow. Okay. So this gives your motifs a little 3D look, which if you want in your design, you can keep it. Otherwise, you can get rid of it if you want a flat look. That's it. So let's say if you're happy with this design so far, whatever you've done, if you're happy with this, what you need to do is you need to save this. So I will save this as a separate document, file, save as, and I will save it as a PSD file. I will name it 16 by 16 by 16 repeat. Okay, press save. Okay, so this is a PSD file saved. Now turn off the pattern preview mode. Right now, this is your block which is repeatable. All right. Now, in order to get this printed and give it to the industry for digital print and all that, you need to save a TIFF file. So how you do that? You go to file, you go to save as. This time instead of PSD, you click on TIFF and keep the same file name if you want, and just press save. Okay. Okay. Right. So this is a TIFF file you've saved. Right. So the TIFF file is used in industry for printing purposes. Now your design is ready and it's printable and it's repeatable. I hope you liked the video, learned something new. Please give a subscribe. See you in another video. Take care. Bye bye.